What?
He couldn't hear you. This is going brilliantly.
Can you hear me now? Wait.
Professional. I like that.
You're like Babyface. You completely overthought the production.
Oh,
Jesus.
He's like, I swear I rented a studio space for this.
Test. Dude,
That's
it's
good now.
It
It's
works.
good now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do
Now
it
go back.
if it's not live. Just crank up the audio, man.
Yeah.
Oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, beautiful.
Yes.
Start again.
Okay, start over, girlfriend.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Laughs on Lockdown Volume 4.
Yay!
Hey. I told you we're the audience.
The reason that I'm dressed up like this is because I've lost my mind, obviously, and in order to keep my mind sane, I'm doing these kind of shows. Anyway, our first comedian, I remember I've met him in March 2020. Actually, I've met him online, and he was during a live stream on Instagram hosted by some Mexican girl. I forgot her name.
Jesus.
And
Right,
what I
that
can
makes
remember of him is that his English is really, really good. And after that, I spied on his Facebook profile, and he's also a Grandma Nazi, which that means we're brothers. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, from the Netherlands, I present to you Roger Buck.
Thanks, guys. I don't have any hands. Yeah, I just want to clarify that meeting was only online. I've never met this person in real life. So let's get that out of the way. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is great. Like, you know, you see Northern Lights behind me. I want to talk to you guys about something that I read recently. I read this article that Finland is considered to be the happiest country on earth. And I just want to call bullshit on that, okay? I don't know if you've ever heard a Finnish person speak. If there's any Finns watching this, well, it's unlikely because even social distancing is too social for them. They're not fun people. And I know of the Finns, okay? I know of the Finns very well. Like, I've been married to a Finnish lady for 5 years. Now, I think it's a pretty big accomplishment to be married to a Finn at all, okay? So again, if you've never heard a Finnish person speak, allow me to kind of introduce you to the auditory experience that it is, so that once you get out of quarantine and you might run into a Finnish person, you know what to expect. Now, you might have met like a Scandinavian person, a Swede, for example, and they have a very pleasant way of speaking. It's a melody, and it goes up and down, and it is happy. So you've got the Swedes, they're up here, and you've got a Finnish person who speaks with no emotion whatsoever, all the way down here. They speak with no change of rhythm or sign of life whatsoever. To give you like a kind of an indication of where that comes from, the Finnish saying, like the Finnish for I love you is rakastan sinua. So, you know, get my pants off, right? But so, you know, like when my wife comes home at the end of the day, it is rough for me. I have to deal with this shit every single day. You know, she comes in and she's like, hello, honey, I am home. Well, great, did I marry a fucking robot? Right. You know, but and that was obviously before the quarantine. Now during quarantine, it's way worse. She's like, hello, honey, I am still home. Yeah, I am painfully aware. I get it. Yeah. You know, and like sex obviously is a huge issue. Like with that kind of tone, you know, it's impossible. She'll go, oh Roger, hit me harder. I am not comfortable. I can't read your tone at all. But even worse than you know, just being around the house, just than sex is fighting. You know, because she'll get upset about something, you know, and we don't connect on the same level, and she'll ask me, she's like, why can you not emotionally connect with me? I'm like, there is no emotion to connect to. I have nothing to hold on to. Zero. Now, we've been together. We've been married for 5 years. Been together for 12 years. Now, 1 month into our relationship, I was like, you know what? It is time to meet the family. Perfect. So I traveled out to Finland. I was super excited to meet my family-in-law. I was scared as shit to meet my father-in-law. He's Bulgarian. My wife is half Finnish, half Bulgarian. And she had warned me a little bit. She's like, hey, his English isn't really good, so you're going to have to really try with him. So I travel out to Finland. I get up to the house. They pick me up. And the whole Finnish family just comes out of the house to welcome me in the front yard. And I get out of the car, and they're like, hello, Roger. It is great to finally meet you. Like, you sound excited. That's good. But then my father-in-law just sort of emerges through the sea of Finns to give you kind of an indication of his English. It's like an Eastern European car salesman, okay? He'll just kind of be like this, like, come, my friend, come. Oh, come right here. I have perfect car for you. 1985 Mercedes. It is perfect. It only has 3 wheels. It is okay. You can buy wheel from my brother next door. And do not look in the trunk. It is not important. So he, again, like he comes through the sea of Finns, and he just looks at me. He's like, come, Roger, come to me, come. And I step up to him, and he bear hugs me, wraps me around my arm. So I'm like this, and he kisses me in the neck. Very tenderly, I might add. So now I'm being manhandled and halfway made love to by a Bulgarian man I have never met before. And it looks really sweet from the outside, but from our little circle, I kind of feel like he's telling me, I am the dominant male in this household. And I know what you're planning with my daughter. And I will fuck you up. I will fuck you up. English, third language. All right, thank you guys. That's my time. Later.
No, Reverend.
Oh,
Oh, look at that.
Oh.
Sexy cop is back.
it's like
Oh, I'm
sexy
sorry.
this when it comes out.
I was looking at my small penis. The next,
It's funny because it's true.
our next comedian. I've met him in June 2019, and since that very first day, he's been unemployed, and somehow manages to stay alive. So I've been trying to find him on all these gay webcam sites, and I'm not gonna stop until I find his profile. Probably he's on OnlyFans. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, from Portugal, I present you Luis Cardoso.
Hey!
Yay!
Hello, everybody. Thanks for that lovely introduction, Razvan. We are really having a great time here. Comedy on stream. Of course, a bit weird because there is no audience, which is sad. But there's also no hecklers. I mean, besides Razvan. I think we are talking too much about comedy. And before even that, like, you might be wondering, why the hell are you holding that, you know? And I'm like, I need a microphone, but I don't have a microphone. And I also don't have any dildos lying around in the house for some reason. So I just had to go with whatever I had here. But anyway, I think we're just talking too much about COVID. So I don't want to go through that road. But before I stop talking about COVID, let me just say, like, we're hearing a lot about the true heroes, you know, like the medical staff and the ambulance drivers, all these people, and they are true heroes. But I would also like to talk about people that are unknown heroes, you know, like if you're working in a supermarket and you go to work every day, risking your life. If you're a bus driver taking people to work, I mean, most people don't go to work because they lost their jobs, but anyway, you're really a true hero. Like if you're leaving with your partner and you haven't punched him in the face, you know, or throw her or him out of the window, because it's really easy to do that. You are really a true hero. Like if you're living with your kids and you haven't, and after 3 weeks of living 24/7 with them, which feels like 7 dog years or something, you still feel like some sort of love, you know, for those nagging, crying creatures. Like you are a true hero as far as I'm concerned, you know. But I think it's like we have to put a bit like this COVID talk to an end, you know. COVID is terrible. but there are some things that are positive. You know, like for instance, I think most people could agree, like I no FOMO anymore, no fear of missing out, which is fantastic. Like I'm not spending 2 hours traveling every day to work, which is fantastic. And most importantly, I'm not seeing any people, which for me is fantastic. Like not seeing anyone has been the greatest time I've ever had. And it's things like this. We have to put things in perspective, because also for the environment, like the planet, there's way less pollution, which is fantastic. You know, like the crime is going down, which is fantastic. Raping is also going down, another fantastic thing. It's also, of course, hard times. You know, people are losing their jobs, other people can't rape, and people are in the hospital. Yeah, it's kind of, I always feel like it's good and bad, you know, and you have to be, we have been living in this good and bad thing. But you know, enough about COVID. I want to talk a bit about me. Lately I realized something which is kind of mind-blowing. Is like I am actually in fact a big idiot, and for most people this is not a surprise really, but for me it was. For me it was. I'm trying to change, you know. I'm trying to get some good habits, because it's you have to improve somehow, and I want to get out of this quarantine like in a good way, you know. Like I'm trying to change my habits. But I'm wondering every day. I'm wondering, am I closer to being a better idiot or a worse idiot? And it's hard as well to tell, because for instance, I'm gonna tell, like I started doing yoga, which is good, right? It's a good thing. It's a positive habit. But I might also have started spying on my neighbor, on my hot female neighbor, which for some reason loves to walk around her balcony on their underwear. And you know, and I feel bad, but I blame it on her, you know, because she clearly has no consideration for all these neighbors that were not smart enough, you know, to get a girl to quarantine and chill, and now have to go into this despicable social isolation behaviors. That's it for me, guys. Thank you very much, and see you next time.
I shot the sheriff. Anyway, hi guys. For our next comedian, I've never met him before, but he says he's doing comedy for about 6 months, which means that if he's not funny, there's a bullet waiting for you, baby. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, from the United States, I present to you
Whoa.
Mr. Matt
Whoa.
Schmitz.
No.
All right.
Okay.
I also thought it was the wrong
Yeah,
order.
Razvan, it's me, you twat.
Okay,
Hey,
Jesus
Hey,
Christ.
it happens.
Officer.
It happens.
I'm going.
Sorry,
fuck
guys.
It.
It
This
happens,
is my
bro.
show. I'm fucking going for this shit. Hello, people.
Brilliant.
Well, this is going well. This is not live streaming. This is nobody's watching, but there's no difference there. There's no fucking difference whatsoever, apart from a missus. She can't see. She can just hear me now. She can't see me on her phone. Yeah, I wasn't here last week. I had some family stuff. Did anyone miss me? Nah,
No.
I didn't think so either.
Yes.
I missed you.
No, yeah, you guys, you've got to suffer through 5 minutes of this fat man just trying to impress so hard, but failing. But less about my sexy stuff with the missus and more about comedy, which is also what my sex life is like. Yeah, I missed a good show last week. We found out that Shirt and Giorgio have the same taste in have the same taste in women. And I'll file newsflash: black dudes like thick white girls. We'll file that under shocking. Razvan also showed off his dildo collection and made us feel weird. And in other news, water is wet. And
Got
also,
him, dude.
everyone seemed to love Rami's beautiful Mesopotamian eyebrows. And you know what? It's not just water that's wet. It was me watching him last week, man. Jesus Christ. Woof, that guy. Woof. Rami, I hope you're watching. Oh, you're not watching. This is not even fucking live stream. Jesus Christ, that doesn't work. Fuck's sake. Rami better watch this later on. Fuck it. Yeah, I want to talk to you tonight about some. I want to put a spotlight on something other than Razvan and his stupid stuff. I want to talk to you about some. like a community in the world that is getting some abuse about corona and stuff. It's getting some. The bearded are getting some abuse from people in society. This fascist abuse is getting to me, man. It's not good because it's coming from like just geeky little scientists that can't grow a beard, and they're coming up with all these kind of like reports about bearded men are smelly, bearded men are this. And it's like, Jesus Christ, man. So I was like, what I want to do is I want to disprove one of these reports. So I grabbed one, I saw it, and what the report said was bearded men carry more germs than dogs. And I was like, no, fuck you, I'm going to do the research. And I did the research, and they're right, because I can carry maybe 5 or 6 like pugs in my arm, maybe a 7th if I have a backpack. But if you give me a Great Dane, I'm fucked, man. Jesus. But also doing that research, I also found out people don't like you picking up their dogs in the park. They find it weird, apparently. It's weird and unsavory. So, yeah. With Corona, we've all got a lot more fear now. We've all got a lot more fear. The fear of dying, that's rising. That is rising. And I've got something similar. But being the classy English cunt that I am, of course, mine involves tea. So what happens when you mix dying with tea? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you get my greatest fear in life, dieting. Now, I've realized I need to go on a diet because firstly, I've got a mirror and they're painfully truthful. But also as well, the other day, I just finished a socially distant bike ride. So I was all hot and sweaty. And I was like, just finished. So I was like, I had my headphones on, music blaring, just locking up my bike. And then the music goes off in my headphones. And I'm like, why the fuck did the music go? And do you know what turned my headphones off? My fucking neck fat. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. And I'd love to stand here before you today, to the live stream people that we can't fucking see, but I'd love to stand here live to you today and say that was the first time my fat had turned something off. But that would be a lie. So, yeah, man. It's, with Corona, I'm trying to be more healthy. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to quit smoking. And I did it. I fucking quit smoking, man. And it's been what, about 5-6 minutes since I last had a cigarette. So I'm fucking doing it, man. I'm doing it. Come on. But yeah, I'm drinking a lot more because I'm bored. And I realize I need to chill out with the drinking. So what I've been doing is to try and trick my stupid English brain. I've been drinking 0.0 beers. And it reminds me of a time before all this craziness, back in dry February, because dry January is a long fucking month. Back in dry February, I was there, I'd no drinking, and I was like, I only had one moment of joy in the entire month, because apparently my personality is all about drinking. So that one moment was at a poker game around my friend's house. And I was there drinking a 0.0 beer, and my Lithuanian friend said to me, oh, we've got a saying in Lithuania about non-alcoholic beer. And I was like, what's that, mate? He goes, yeah, drinking non-alcoholic beer is like licking your sister's pussy. It tastes the same, but you know, something not quite right. Fucking Lithuania, man. Jesus Christ. You guys go hard. Oof, too hard with your sisters, apparently. But yeah, I will leave you on just a little thing here where we've had a lot more time. We've all had a lot more time to do stuff, to check out Netflix, check out documentaries. And recently, I got my missus into the Tupac and Biggie. Like, they had the Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. And the girlfriend, she absolutely loved it. She loved it. She loved the music. She loved everything. But there was things that she was really getting into the music and really singing along with stuff. And then it was like, there's words that she was saying, and it was just, I don't think you should be saying. She was using the N-word, man. She was using the N-word, and I'm like, I don't think we can do that. And she put a hard R as well. She put a hard R on the N-word, and I was like, oh, girl, like, just let the dead lie, man. Just because necrophilia. I don't even know why you're doing a hard R on that fucking word. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to the live stream people out there. I've been Liam, and I'll give you back to Razvan now. I don't know. I think I'm fucking
Good.
Hey.
There he is again.
Guys,
Terrifying.
I'm so sorry for the mistake I've just made.
dear. Oh dear.
but I'm so horny that I can't think straight.
Okay.
But I would like to apologize Japanese style. And look, I don't want to cry on camera, so
I like Matt just shaking his head.
Is Matt Schmitz from the United States. Just hurry, come on, hurry up, put him on, come on, put him on.
Yeah.
I feel so
Like-
sorry.
No.
What is it?
This is a weird way to
You're
come
on.
on.
There he is.
I'm not gonna say thanks.
You shouldn't, Queen.
No.
You should.
Anyway, welcome to my show.
Yeah.
You can tell it's my show because I'm on fourth. Headliner's always on fourth. I haven't done comedy in a while, so I'm gonna try some new material.
Woo.
Aw. No, a lot of you guys came to hear my old stuff. The classics. Anyway, like Razvan said 20 minutes ago, I'm an American. Being an American's great, obviously. It's the confidence. I was on a plane flying to Amsterdam. 2 American women sitting in front of me. Pilot comes on over the intercom. Speaking Dutch. One turns to the other. What language is that? It's German. You understand German? Yes. See, that's the attitude of a winner. No one's going to tell her what she can and can't do. Go get her. She's going to write her memoirs. Been traveling a lot lately. Before Corona, obviously. Went to South Africa. Saw a lion. Then I found out lions have AIDS. This is true. I did the research. 90% of lions in the Serengeti have AIDS. Lesson learned. Be careful with lions. They say it's primarily spread by biting and scratching, which I feel like is lions' go-to move anyway. I just feel like lions were dangerous enough before God gave them AIDS. Imagine surviving an attack from a lion only to be told you have AIDS. Stay safe out there. And I don't want to sound racist, but a lion with AIDS is the most African thing I've ever heard. The only way that could be more African, we somehow managed to exploit it for its resources. Daddy needs a new coat. Saw elephant too. The guide told me that South Africa is becoming overpopulated with elephants. So I guess we owe poachers an apology. Turns out they were the good guys. Speaking of dead animals, a dog.
Go wrong. So that's what happened today. I don't know. I'm saying this. Oh God, just fucking kill me. Anyway, our next comedian, I've met him in August 2019 when I was there with my friends, and we were trying to get into this comedian circuit. So like, yeah, let's check it out. And once this guy came up, we were like, hey, you know what? How about we just stick to our 9-to-5 jobs, because these guys are obviously well too good for us. So let's just go home. Let's just go home. So, ladies and gentlemen, one of my idols in the comedy circuit of Amsterdam, from St. Martin, Mr. Sjoerd Scott.
Okay. That's, thank you.
Let's
you.
go move.
Please, no No more applause. Yeah, okay. Like I feel like a rapper that just gets announced before he comes. I wanted to say something about Matt, but god damn it, I forgot because Raspa just went on. Shit. I had something to say. Fuck, can I still say it? No.
Say
Yeah.
it. Say it.
No, it's irrelevant now. It's irrelevant
Hey,
now.
Ah, come on.
So's Matt. So's
God,
Matt.
Yeah.
So that's the
Fuck it. Let's turn
problem.
this into a roast session. Fuck it.
Oh my god. Okay. No, fuck it. I'm gonna continue. Fuck. Okay, so
blue ball me.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm so used to. Speaking of, I have a story. Anyway, so
Nice.
like I wanted to say.
Segue.
I normally do bad introductions, but you take the cake. Thanks, Raspan, for showing me how it's done. That's I'm kidding, bro. But I really wanted to comment on this fucking Fedor. I watched the couch potato thing. I know what you said about me, that I picked my nose in the beginning. That was one fucking time, okay, and I wasn't even spotlight. So I don't know why you're doing this to me, buddy. Like
One time too many.
Is that? Oh, thank you. Like I just feel attacked. Like I could do better. Like they say we can MC, but no one said I had to do a good job. So like I blame it on the instructions, right? That's just one thing I wanted to say. And two, being here, I'm talking really fast because goddamn, I still want to say the thing about Matt so bad, but fuck it. So so I'm speaking really fast, right? But like I was thinking about it because I'm really excited to say this. Like my mom hit me up and she was like, "Sure, question. What was your favorite thing about being back on St. Martin?" And I was honest with her. I was like, "Mom, to be honest, it's the strip clubs, right? It's fucking phenomenal, right?" And she goes, "What's so great about it?" I'm like, one, duh, it's in the name. And two, they have amazing spaghetti. Like it's really fucking good food. Like the spaghetti is
It's in
great.
the
Like there's not too much sauce on it. It's just the right amount. You could feed it to them if you want to. Like it's dope, right? And it's like and it was really good too. Like it was such a good service, right? Because when I got there, one, I wasn't 21 at the time, but don't tell them. I wasn't 21 at the time when I got in, and I saw this whole thing. There was a bunch of dudes there, a few girls dancing. I'm like, oh, this is exactly what I read about in the books. And I sat down. I don't know what's happening, right? And like this girl with braces, she's dancing, and she sees me, and she takes off her bra and throws it at me. Now, at first, I'm disgusted because I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Am I supposed to wear it? Like, what's the routine here, right? I don't get it. And she came over and then I was like, and then like she was so concerned because she was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And she said, "Because you have my bra on your face." And I'm like, "I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it, right?" And then she said, "Well, no, it's just I put the bra on you because that means that I claimed you. And so no other stripper can talk to you," which baffled me because I thought I'm supposed to choose her. Like, this is just so confusing. Like, what the fuck is this process, right? So then I said, like, "Are you sure about this? Like, is this purely consensual? Like, what's the business thing here?" And then she said, no. In here, sweetie, okay, we choose you because that's just how it rolls. So if we think you have money, we go up to you and we choose you. That really inspired me. I got so emotional. I was like, that's just so beautiful that like you could do this because you're so strong and independent. And what was it, 25 for a lap dance? I did it because the thing is, like, it was so intriguing because the way how they approach you, like, I'm not gonna lie, I thought she had feelings for me, but apparently that's all a part of the game. Because when she came up to me, she said like the dopest thing. Like she just came up and she said something I never heard before. She came up and she said, "Hey, you have really pretty eyes." And I didn't know how to take that. I was like, Jesus, stop it. Like, oh my God. Like, I didn't know how to fucking take that shit, right? Because I'm like, I've never heard of this shit before. Like, who says this to somebody? You know what I mean? But she said it to me and I was like, I'm in love. Like, I clearly fall for this, right? And I leave there because I'm broke now. I leave there and I go home. And the first thing my mom says to me is, "Why do you smell like bitch?" And I said, "Mom, I went to the strip club." And then she goes, "Why?" I said, "Because it was your idea." And then she said, "Yeah, because I wanted to drop you, not you go by yourself." Like, I'm sorry, I crossed the line. Like, what the fuck? Like, what's wrong with this entire situation, right? But yeah, so despite that whole scenario, long story short, I had a little itch down in my ditch, and I didn't know how to handle that shit, right? Because when I came up here, I was like, dude, it's really itching me. Like, what the fuck is going on? So I went to the doctor, right? I went to the doctor. But in leading up to that, I wasn't so sure about it, right? Because I had to look it up. I'm like, oh, quite, like it's possibly like a STD. So I'm just looking it up, right? I look it up, and the fucking like the thing that it said, it was saying like all of these symptoms, and I'm like, okay, I don't have that, so I probably don't have an STD. But then it says the dumbest shit ever. It says you could have it but not show symptoms. Now I'm like, what the fuck? Who invents these things? Like, is this how sicknesses work? Like, you could fucking have it but not know it? That's so fucking dumb. Like, who does this shit, right? Like, fucking corona is similar to a flu, so you might have the flu or not have corona. What the fuck? Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm just running. It's personal. By the way, speaking of fucking corona, why the fuck is it that if I go to Albert Heijn, I have to pick up a fucking plastic basket? Like, everyone's touching this thing. Why the fuck would I touch it? Anyway, I'm sorry, it's personal. Because now if I have to buy gum, I have to grab a fucking basket. I'm sorry, I'm going off. It's really personal to me. It comes from a place of realness. I'm so sorry, right? I'm just, yeah. So I'm like, okay, I want to book an appointment for an STD test, right? And they said that, okay, you could get an STD test if you book an appointment online. I said, okay, no problem. I went to book the appointment. They were booked for the next 4 months. I was like, who the fuck is fucking like this? I don't, it's like, why are you booked for 4 months straight? Like, you can't even squeeze me in for like a Sunday? Like, is it bad? Like, is it that bad? But then I was like, okay, no problem. Below that, there's a thing called counseling, where they counsel young teenagers and give them a free STD test. One, I didn't know I had to pay before, so thank God. And two, they said that, yeah, so it's free for people 21 and under. And I'm like, dope, I'm still in the margin. So I try to sign up, and they're booked for the next 8 months. And I'm like, who the fuck is fucking like this? Like, how do we have time to run an infrastructure like this? Like, I'm really concerned. Right now, it all makes sense. Eskimo bros. So like, like none of this shit makes sense, right? So I was like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna go talk to my doctor, right? I'm like, hey dog, I really want to get this test going. When can I come? He said in 2 hours. I said, this is why you're my guy, right? This is fucking phenomenal. I go over there, and he asked me 2 questions, right? Like, before I spoke to him, I had to speak to the lady at the desk. First of all, what the fuck is up with her, okay? She's out here yelling shit that I say to her, like, yes, you heard me correctly. Like, I'm like, hey, I have an itch. She's like, oh, you have an itch where? Is it on the testicles or the dick? I'm like, why are you yelling? Like, just write it on a note. Like, email it to me. Like, why are we doing this here right now? Because a guy behind me, he's listening, and he goes, you probably just have to shower. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, don't fucking talk to me. Like, I don't know this guy, right? I go into the doctor, and the doctor starts asking me 2 questions. He asked me, he says, okay, first question, have you ever had sex with the same gender? I said, no. He said, okay, second question, have you ever had sex without a condom? I said, no. He said, why the fuck are you here? I don't get this. Why are we doing this? And I said, I'm just scared, right? So I piss in a cup, and I give it to him. Like, he asked me to. I didn't just do it, like, because I'm a fucking dickhead. He asked me to, right? I piss in the cup. I come back a week later. Turns out I don't have it. And he says, you just need to shower more often. And the same guy is there, and he says, told you so. Anyway, that's my time, you guys. I'm going to pass it back to our phenomenal, whatever he's doing over there. I'm going to give it to Ross, man. Go off, bro.
Woo! Give it up for, what's his name? Shirt Scott, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're curious, this is a perfect replica of his penis.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God.
That's Shirt Scott over here.
I
The
didn't
woman I
want to go
slept
first.
with says something different, man.
Yeah. For our next
Yo.
You can
comedian,
edit that out. You
Yo.
can edit that out.
hush,
Edit it out.
motherfuckers.
To be honest, most of the Razvan
Hush.
aspects.
Okay, allow.
Okay, guys, listen to me. I got a gun over here, so please shut the fuck up. Okay, so for our next comedian, I've met her on a train on the way to Rotterdam in February 2020, and me and her and Liam were drinking so much that I was thinking, how the hell can she still stand on her feet? Like, as opposed to on her knees with her mouth open. Like, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, from the United States, I present to you Miss Carly Blair.
Oh, God.
All right. Thank you, Rasan, for that
provocative introduction. Speaking of lacking inspiration, I was struggling to come up with jokes that were actually funny when I was getting ready to do this set. So I thought I would try something different. So just give me a second. I'd like to introduce you to my partner. Come here, honey. Come here. This is Pepe. We've been in lockdown together for these past few weeks. Pretty fun. We've been finding different ways to pass the time, like playing games. Hide and seek is my personal favorite. Just when we think we've run out of dark nooks and crannies, we manage to find another one. That's fun. He's a bigger fan of Jenga. You know, there's something about sliding wood in and out of holes that really gets him all pumped up. During these few weeks, spending a lot of time together, we've been getting to know each other in different ways. One word that I never would have used to describe him before, vain. I had no idea how much work goes into making this kind of presentable.
Cute.
But you know, on the other hand, one thing I can say with confidence now is that he is a real straight shooter. Yeah, babe, it looks like you help my terrible jokes work. Some people might call you a third leg, but I like to refer to you as a crutch. Thanks for the support. I'll let you go now. Toke talk. I'm not quite as good at Pepe as making a point, but maybe right there with that. So speaking of virtual cocks, I've been spending a lot of time on the dating apps during lockdown. And one thing you see a lot on guys' profiles is group photos. Now, I think that group photos are like tattoos. They're a good idea if you're hot and a bad idea if you're not. Because if you're hot, they make you look fun. But if you're not hot, they make you look like a terrible decision maker. Because there's probably a handsome friend in that photo that makes your tribal armband of a face look even worse. So a lot of guys are clearly very horny during lockdown. And I found that being too flirty is like throwing a fish taco into a shark pit. So to deal with this, I've been perfecting the art of the non-sensual gift. Or gift, if you want to be a weirdo and pronounce it that way. So my personal favorites feature male losers like Napoleon Dynamite, or like Ralph Wiggins from The Simpsons, or Forrest Gump. Because nothing makes a guy's dick shrivel up like portraying yourself as the kind of person that he's tired of having sex with all day. A loser. When I've been thinking about all this stuff, it occurred to me that online dating is kind of like sitting in an interrogation room with the guy looking at you from the other side of a one-way mirror. Except instead of him trying to trick you into confessing a crime, he's trying to trick you into fucking him. Unfortunately, instead of Magnum PI, like a suave, mustachioed, good-looking dude, asking you smart questions to lure you into his trap, like, are you looking for a strong man to have a family with? Most of the time, you usually get like a Chief Wiggum asking you stupid questions like, hey, nice swimsuit you got there. You gonna wear it on our date? And just to clarify, that's not a stupid question because it would be ridiculous to wear a swimsuit on a first date in a bar. It's a ridiculous, stupid question because I use smart photos and every single one of my photos is me in a swimsuit. So when he says fourth photo, I'm like, I have no idea which one that is. Hello, who's desperate as this girl? So speaking of stupid questions, oftentimes when I'm on these dating apps chatting with dudes, I'll get a guy and like I'll mention that I do stand up, and a lot of times the guy will be like, "Tell me a joke," and personally, I fucking hate this question because asking me to tell you a joke that's meant to be done live, like right there on the spot, is kind of like me asking a dude to send me a dick pic right now. Like, it could be okay, but more than it's likelier than not that it'll be flaccid, you know, peeking out from his rattiest pair of Hanes boxer briefs, caked in what can only be jizz, and garnished with two shrunken Giorgio heads. Like little like dreadlocks and shit. You know what I'm talking about. By the way, if anyone wants to prove me wrong, I'll give you 5 seconds to slide that shit into my DMs. So 5, 4, 3, 2.
No, Razvan. Don't do it.
No one? Not even Razvan?
You win.
So, as you might guess from my, I got some notifications. Ooh, I'll have to check those later. So, as you might notice from my palpable sense of frustration, I haven't been on very many dates during the lockdown. And adding to my frustration is the fact that literally all of my neighbors have decided it's time to renovate their houses. Like, literally all of them. I'm surrounded by hammering on all sides, yet can't seem to get me. So I was looking for another way to kill the time, so I decided I would try to adopt a cat, but that turned out to be impossible. Apparently, I'm not the only person who was planning to spend their entire lockdown playing with a neglected pussy.
Hey.
Speaking of doing it yourself, shout out to everyone who's decided to spend their quarantine exploring their untapped creative potential. I mean, why would I use this unprecedented opportunity to discover great art? You know, read Infinite Jest or finally start listening to Miles Davis when I could instead spend it looking at your sophomore doodles or listening to you fumble through an Ed Sheeran cover. She says in the middle of a poorly prepared virtual comedy set. So I was thinking about like people whining about the lockdown, especially with all this shit going on in America, and how we're like really big wusses compared to what people had to put up with in World War II, for example. And then suddenly it hit me. I think I know why the Dutch betrayed the most Jews during World War II. It's not because of anti-Semitism, or it wasn't because of anti-Semitism or whatever. It was because they were tired of not being able to go out at night and police patrols and weird accessories. And they just wanted the shit to get this shit over with, you know? And Margot, Otto, Edith, You guys gotta go. I'm sorry. You know, time's up. Sorry, bocce's not as much fun indoors as it is outside. All right, come on, let's go. All right, yeah, door's right here. Yeah, sorry guys, I know. Yeah, okay, good luck out there. Yeah, okay, yeah, success. Okay, yeah, okay, Julie. And speaking of different ways to say goodbye, that's my time. So thank you very much.
Oh, it's me again, Miss Scully Blair. Thank you so much, and I apologize for my lack of humor when I introduced you. Anyway, for our next comedian, ladies and gentlemen, wait, give me a second. Sorry, guys, that was my cat. It keeps jumping on my gun. Every time I fall asleep, it plays with my penis because apparently it's small enough to fit in its mouth. And oh, it moved again. It moved again. Give me a second, guys. God fucking damn it! For our next comedian, I've seen him for the first time in January in Korea, and I honestly believe that this guy, if he would smoke less weed, by now he would. So from the Netherlands, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Giorgio Slagveer.
Uh, what's up, virtually invisible people? I don't know. I say that and I suspect the reaction back. I'm gonna say all this hacky shit. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I'm still in love with my ex-girlfriend a little bit, and when she left me, she left this giant hole, and I'm trying to fill that hole with a fat chick. I'm gonna do the same joke in 6 different ways. So there we go. I'm building self-esteem, and for that, you need good foundation. You know, you need to eat healthy, get a routine going, and fuck a fat chick. Anyways, yeah. You might, you know, people always give me the how do you call that? The advice to go write, but I write like 3 hours a day, but then, you know, I gotta perform and then I forget everything. But anyway, I got so yeah, so I had sex, as I have been mentioning a lot. Sound like a virgin. And it was a very rough sex, you know. She I didn't know if she saw it in a porno or we were having some kind of exposure therapy. I couldn't decide what it was. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm just going to read it because, you know. Fuck this shit. We're going self-destructive mode with this guy. Anyways, hey, as you can see, I'm an underachiever. I'm quite an underachiever. Where's that joke? So, yes, there's a couple pages back. So, I am quite an underachiever. And as an underachiever, as I'm trying to find this joke, fuck it. I will just stick with this joke. If Facebook would be in your brain, right, then you would be the only one leaving mean comments on your Facebook wall. You know, you have a picture of yourself in your pajama and then you read the comments and it would just be you saying you're a fag. I don't know. So anyways, Corona going on, huh? Anyways, oh wait, this one. I don't do drugs to hide from my problems. I just never invite them to, you know, join me to smoke. I don't know if that's sad or funny. Hey, did you know that restaurants, they get a Michelin star, right? And that's a very it's a rating system, right? And everybody holds this rating system in much account, right? And it's weird because a tire company is providing these stars. So we base on who is the best restaurant on people that sell tires, which is like kind of like getting health advice from McDonald's or whatever, you know. That's the premise. I don't have anything else. But it's weird. Why are we listening to these guys? It's like, oh, this does not taste like rubber. So, here's the underachiever joke. Because being successful is too much work, right? No, wait. It's like I didn't finish school, and like when you don't finish school, your society is like saying like, oh, you don't want to use your brain. Here's a job we haven't found a robot for yet. Yeah, that was very underachieving joke. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna do 5 minutes this time. It's gonna. Oh wait, like the first day, right, of your work is very important. As a slacker, because I'm a slacker, right? And at the first day, like everybody on the first day of their job really wants to give out a good impression, but I look for a way to slack off on the first day. I don't know. It's not finished yet. Can I come back later? Just cut this part out and I'll do my set later. All right. This is terrible.
It's going great. It's going
No,
great.
let me do it at the end.
God. We'll do it in the green room. We'll do it in the green room.
No, we don't do it. Yeah. All right. I'm prepared, but not prepared. So, yeah. So on the first day of your job, what I try to do is mention my sick grandma, but not in a way that is lame, right? Like saying like, "Oh, my grandma is sick." You mention, I don't fucking know. Anyways,
Bro.
fuck it, it's done. It's done. It's done.
Yo. Don't worry, guys. He wasn't prepared, but the replica of his penis.
I was.
This is Gio right here.
Oh,
If
Jesus.
you want to meet him, let me know.
Looks accurate.
So for our next comedian, he's gay. He's the only gay artist on our lineup tonight, and I gotta be honest, like, it's not that I hate gays, but I'm envious of them because their life is it's so fucking easy. Like, look, for a straight guy, if he wants to seduce a girl, he gotta buy her dinner, he gotta court her, he gotta be polite and stuff. And gay guys just go on Grinder and they're like, I want cock, and a cock comes before their faces within 2 seconds, and that's just not fucking fair, man. It's just not fucking fair. So, ladies and gentlemen, from Australia, I present you Sir Tommy Johnson.
Whoa! Oh, God.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know what to say to that, apart from, can you please wash the dildo before you bring it back to me? I don't know what you've done, Corona. There's a grubby hand. That is. Fingerprints on the outfit, Razvan. Fingerprints, I mean, honestly. Hello, well, what an evening. I mean, we have had some stuff happen tonight. I love it. I'm so appreciative of this because this is the only interaction I get all day. It's great, you know. Apart from my housemate, I love being with my housemate. Shut the fuck up! Oh, sorry, that was rude. That was really rude. No, I'm here. I'm not actually mad about being in quarantine. I miss a lot of things. I miss going to the gym. I miss fitness classes. The last fitness class I went to was row cycle, and that shit is that's really something. I know what you're all thinking, that you're not attractive enough to go to row cycle, and you're right. I walked into that class followed by 15 fit white females and one hulking male. It was very daunting. It was not good at all. For anyone that hasn't actually been to row fit, it's the equivalent of what I would say to anyone that's given a kilogram of cocaine to a yoga instructor and then ask them to do a spin class. It's fucking shit. You walk into this class, right? You walk into the class and it is someone sitting there on a podium, 4 candles underlit. No one wants to be underlit. Not a good angle to go through and be at. And the people that go through and hold these classes, they are passionate. And not good passionate in kind of like a Greta Thunberg way. Yeah, not good. Not just aggressive. It's fucking aggressive. Anyway, you sit there, and I remember one thing from this class, because she was sitting there and she was like, we're going to turn the pressure up now. This pressure is the goal that's in front of you, and what's holding you back? Like that's the restraint is what's holding you back. That's what's holding me back from right now. I said, my goal is to leave this class, and bitch, you're the one thing that is holding me back from here right now. God, anyway, I left that class, I threw up, and I was booked in for the next week. But, you know, Corona, that didn't happen. Anyway, I went to that class because I'm single. I'm single as fuck. It's not good. I'm single and I'm unemployed, which means that if I get one more email saying that you're not suitable for the position, means I'm going to have to stop having sex with people missionary idiots. But I've learned that being unemployed, you've got to go through and do a whole bunch of things to cut costs. You have to buy the cheap bread, only treat yourself to like 1 coffee a day, only suck dick after they've paid for dinner. That's a big one. That saves a lot. And I stopped getting tonsillitis. Coincidence. And one place that I found that you can cut costs is if you go to like a thrift shop, like second-hand store. I didn't go there beforehand, but I found out that if you go to a thrift shop, you can save so much money. I went to a thrift shop recently and I found out that you can get anything there. There's so much that you can get in a thrift shop. I walked in and found out that you can buy a second-hand gag ball. Razvan knows what I'm talking about. Can you imagine putting that gag ball in and being like, oh my God, this person has the same dental profile as me. Not the realization that you want. You don't want to be in a plane crash together. It's not fun. Anyway, because I was unemployed, my friend decided to go through and get me a gift. He decided to buy me some Lush products. And like, obviously, you know, Lush products, the glittery soap. It's the kind of gift that people just associate for gay people. It's like, oh, you're gay, here's some Lush. I don't know why. It's kind of like when you buy socks for your dad or like divorce papers for your mum. It's just one of those things, you know? And anyway, he bought me this one that's called Prince Charming. And I know what you're thinking. Closest that Prince Charming is going to get to my asshole. You're right. Yeah, sad realization you make in the shower while singing. Yeah. So, anyway, I was preparing for a date, so I was scrubbing myself all over because it was a date for a gay man. You just scrub everywhere. You scrub everywhere, just absolutely everywhere. Talking about my butthole, just scrub it. Anyway, I went to the date. It was great. Drinks, cocktails. You know what happens, and you go home afterwards, as you do after a good date, and didn't realize the consequence until he was, he was fingering me, and I was like, "What are you, Kesha? Fucking hell." A lot of glitter. Anyway, it took 3 weeks and I still farted glitter everywhere. It was death of my life, and he didn't call me back. So, still single. If there's anyone watching this, just call me. That's what I'm saying. That is all I've got for you tonight with my pink background. Fucking hell.
Thank you, Tommy. Well, Tommy's cock is black as well, and that's all what we want. Everybody wants a black dick. So, yeah, for our next comedian, ladies and gentlemen, I've met him for the first time in March 2020, and even though I could be his father, and whether that's because he's too young or because I'm so old, I still could be his father, but he's still my daddy in terms of talent and potential. So, ladies and gentlemen, from the UK / the Netherlands, Mr. Diederik Zuurmond.
Hey, hello. What's up? Comedy. I had a pretty good day. I sustained my first slacklining injury today. I fell on an acorn, and then walking over here, I got a splinter. I didn't wear any shoes. There's a forest. I don't know. I was celebrating 420. Anyone else celebrate 420? That's fun, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Someone came up to me and was like, "Hey, it's Hitler's birthday," and I was like, "Yeah. Why else would I be celebrating 420? What other?" So that's why we were singing the German national anthem. I got I got an advertisement to donate to Doctors Without Borders. look, I'm no epidemiologist, but I think we need doctors with borders right now. All right, because I don't know the virus. I've been doing well. I've started calling my fleshlight a blowtorch because I think it's hotter. That's a lie. I don't have a fleshlight. I do have very sweaty palms. So, yeah, it's been hard. This quarantine, it's been hard. It's been long and hard. I don't know. There's some silver linings for me. I'm now living with my parents again. Whoop whoop. I no longer have a roommate, which is great because it means I can do as many naked cartwheels as I want. I'm no longer limited to the 4 a week maximum that we had established. Naked cartwheels are cool. It's like doing the helicopter, but with turbulence. It's like you'll get all over the place. I can also eat bacon again, which is cool. Because my roommate, sorry, I should have mentioned, my roommate was Muslim, which is fine. Because I'm not like an Islamophobe, and he wasn't that much of a Muslim, so you know we got along. Yeah, he was a bit of how do they say that? I would sometimes jokingly call him a coconut, you know, because on the inside he was white, and on the outside he was super hairy. He was it was like living with a cat with called alopecia or something. I don't know how that. It was like living with a cat called alopecia. Yeah, I thought it. And then I started thinking while I was hoovering up his hair, why are Persian people why do they like rugs? You know, you'd think that would be impractical. You'd think they'd want like tiles. You'd think Persian tiles would be a thing because you get to sweep it up. You know, why would they want rugs? Indians love rugs as well. Also super hairy. It seems I don't know. It seems like there's a joke there. Yeah, I've been writing a lot. You know, I'm not sweeping the whole time, so I've got time to write. Been working on a new script, Avengers the Musical. Yeah, I feel like there's untapped potential. I was just now working on Thor's song, where we start to see the world from his perspective, and everything is a nail. I don't even know what the fuck are we doing here, man. I don't know what this is. I mean, I'm also working on a duet with Spider-Man and Black Widow, where she's trying to eat him after their love scene. I don't know what. I've also been reading a lot of headlines. Apparently, NASA's Mars robot, Curiosity, keeps rolling as the team operates the rover from home. You guys hear this? NASA's Mars robot, Curiosity, is going to keep rolling as the team operates the rover from home. The team is no longer allowed to have pets because they might, walk over the keyboard. We don't want a cat to kill Curiosity. That'll be a weird turn of tables, something. I don't know. Another headline was judges are saying to lawyers, please get out of bed and put on a shirt for Zoom court hearings. They were like, you're not working a pillowcase.
Oh.
All right. I also read a headline, and I didn't really write a joke for it because I thought it was already funny enough by itself. But it said that the Masterpiece cake shop owner is in court again for denying an LGBTQ customer their trans-themed birthday cake. Now, aside from the fact that it's kind of funny that a man who has dedicated his life to making cakes would be bigoted, also, what is a trans-themed birthday cake? What the fuck is that? Is it like different on the inside than the outside? Because that's what every cake is. That's how icing works. I don't know. I don't know what this is. See ya, I guess. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much, Diderik.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Can you please tell us one last joke, please? One last joke. No, he's shy. He's shy. Okay, guys, for our next comedian, I remember meeting her in February 2020, and I like giving people hugs. And after her show, I was like, hey, like, stay away from me. Don't you fucking touch me. Don't you fucking touch me. So I hugged some Italian dude instead. And yeah, I really like her. She's really serious about social distancing. And ladies and gentlemen, I know I just mispronounced the gentleman. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen from Russia, Miss Kate Nemova.
Woo.
Woo!
Woo! You know, actually, yeah, I feel something very familiar about all this lockdown. Like I've been here before, and yeah, that's because of the childhood. Because you know the lockdowns, like the escape room, right? The quest room, the lock you with your friends for 1 hour, and you have to look for hints and some kind of stuff to get out. Well, I grew up in the escape country. So that's why the quarantine feels very familiar, and I'm lucky. And it took me 20 years to get out of Russia, to move to Amsterdam, to get locked here. So that's, yeah. And actually now I'm getting out of the very severe depression, which lasted for a year, and I gained like 30 kilos. So I was thinking, yeah, maybe I would use the quarantine time to, you know, like come back to shape. So I went to this group where the girls are sharing their motivations why they're on diet. And apparently the most, you know, frequent one was because I want to wear the small clothing. Small clothing. So I didn't find it very motivating. So what I'm doing now, I'm just sitting on my couch and I'm switching on a YouTube show, which name is My Weight is 300 Kilos. And it starts from the woman shouting, from the different people saying, yes, my name is, I don't know, Kate, and my weight is 280 kilos. And I shout to the screen, mine is not, and then I can switch it off. And because of the depression, I broke up with my boyfriend, and I was thinking, okay, maybe I should find a new one. So now I'm on Tinder, and I liked super cute guys. And it turned out it's not only the guy, it's a couple who were looking for someone for threesome. It turned out that they were in the marriage for like 8 years. So apparently, after 8 years of marriage, you need someone from outside to have sex together, because it's like, yeah, it's kind of commitment. Yeah, we already invited someone. We should do that. It wouldn't be nice to cancel, but I didn't accept the offer because I was imagining them, you know, calling me in the last minute and saying, sorry, we have to reschedule. That's funny. I mean, if you have to invite someone for commitment to have sex, that should be, yeah, that's not it. Well, I'll tell you something interesting. Then I recently read a book that's very interesting. I was reading, but I didn't finish reading because it was Camus Kafka. But actually it's a fact because he didn't finish the book, but I didn't finish reading what he didn't finish writing, because I thought that would be a correct attitude, you know. If he didn't finish writing the book, why would I bother finishing reading it, what he wrote? And also I was trying to read it in German, and I don't speak German, so that was quite a time. Another fun fact about my life, I bought a mixer today. I really wanted it. And also I bought it because my birthday is the June 21st, so it's soon, and I wanted a mixer. And to be honest, I don't understand, why do we have to celebrate birthday every year? It happens once, right? And recently my colleague asked me, did you have your birthday already? Well, you can see me, means I did have a birthday. And can you see this empty space between me and the cup? This is Isaac. He didn't have his birthday yet. Yeah. And maybe at the end, I would like to confess, to commit, to say you that I'm really sorry for all this coronavirus, because the first time I started to work in the markets, the rates went negative within a week. Then I continued working in the markets, and the markets start crashing. And then I moved to the new project to assess, you know, the impact of non-financial risks. and like earthquakes and epidemics, pandemics on the portfolio, and we have the corona. But now I changed the teams, and I want you to be a surprise for you what's going to be next, because that's going to be huge. That was it. Not funny. Very quick.
Woo!
Thank you, Miss Nemova. This is a perfect replica of her. Yeah, it doesn't need any explanation. But
Jesus.
I can finally hug her. Like, oh my god, oh my god.
Don't touch it. Put it away.
Bitch. Anyway, guys, for our next comedian.
Last.
Last. I don't know. Anyway, I haven't met him before, but he does have the sexiest name on the lineup. And
I can't remember it.
Let's see. What's wrong with my brain? Anyway, yes, he's from Ireland, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope by God that I hope that he's drunk, because you should never trust a sober Irish person. Anyway, from Ireland, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ronan Brosnan.
Yeah. How is everybody? How much time do we have?
5.
6 minutes.
I mean, like as a society in general.
Oh.
6 also.
You know, times are changing, lads. You know, never shave your balls in a hurry. That's my message for 2020, lads. There is nothing important enough to warrant you shaving your balls in a hurry. I realize it's an irony of life, you know, that the only time you actually think of shaving your balls is the exact time when you shouldn't, you know, when you think you're going to get laid, and therefore you're in a hurry. Terrifying stuff. What a terrifying world. You know, like when it comes to ball shaving, we're on our own, lads. This one's for the lads. Yeah, balls jokes. But yeah, we're on our own. Like ball shaving, it occurs under an oppressive wave of silence. You know what I mean? There's no 20-meter high posters in the city for ball shavers. You know what I mean? There's no special ball shaver being advertised on the telly every day. And there's certainly no like ball shaving salons on the high street. I've never heard your friend saying like, "Hey man, you going for a pint?" No, I'm just going to go get my balls shaved, and I'll meet you afterwards. So yeah, like this ball shaving thing. It came into fashion, and like men never really kind of truly understood it. You know what I mean? It just like women have Brazilians, they have landing strips, all sorts of like cool, fun stuff. You know what I mean? Do you know the name of one male pubic hairstyle? I rest my case. Oh, there's the Giorgio we learned.
Giorgio.
Okay, but shit, I can't believe this joke actually got ruined on the same show. It's fucking retired. Okay. But you know, it's like every man must, without a sensei, you know, find his own technique. It's scrotus operandi. Scrotus operandi. Like, no one teaches you this shit. You know what I mean? It's like women are so much more advanced than us in like ball shaving technology, or not ball, the female equivalent of ball shaving. Vagina, I imagine. Vagina, right? Not us.
The vulva, babe. Vulva.
Just in case. I'm not educating. It's the female equivalent, but like, it's like we don't understand. They have like all this kind of nuanced technology and terminology and all this shit. We just don't. Like a few nights ago, I was watching something and there was an advert came on, and it was a woman sitting in a tree eating a yogurt. That was an advert for pussy shaving products. Like fellas don't have this kind of positivity. You know what I mean? It's like there's like. Shaving your balls is not as stress-free as eating a yogurt in a tree. Like, shaving your balls is more like, It's like the US invasion of Afghanistan, if we're talking comparable stress levels. And I know disrespect to the ladies, like, you know what I mean? The shaving your pussy, to be fair, is more like the US invasion of Iraq. You know, it's like vast open plains, enemies can be identified and exterminated with overwhelming technological superiority. Couple of tricky spots, you know, but you've been there before. You know, the lay of the land, in and out, 100,000 dead, happy days. But the balls are definitely like Afghanistan, you know what I mean? It's like a lawless, barbaric landscape with roaming mountain ranges and deep valleys, you know what I mean? Saving that spot between your dick and your balls, you know what I mean? That is akin to clearing out the rebels in the Kandahar province. It doesn't matter what futuristic technology you use on like the outskirts, you know what I mean? There's always going to be a couple of outlaws hiding in amongst the ridges, you know, making a fool of you. So, like, you can't, if you're going to do it, you can't leave a few pubes hanging around if you're going to do this shit, you know what I mean? You're either fully committed or you shouldn't be getting involved at all. I remember one day I went down on a chick who had cleared the area, but she had left one single pube. And I gotta tell you, I have no problem whatsoever with like female pubic hair, shaved or not. I'm just happy to be involved. This one single pube. I literally had a vagina in my face, or my face in the vagina to be technical and literal. This one single pube just became my entire life, man. It was like just mocking me. Imagine if the Yanks had gone in to Afghanistan and killed all the Taliban, but Osama bin Laden still survived, and he's just like in a cave in Tora Bora sending Snapchats to Fox News. Like, it doesn't matter that you killed 99.999% of the Taliban. If Osama bin Laden is still hiding in the cave, the Taliban still exists. If you fuck around with Afghanistan, that shit's gonna come back and bite you in the ass. Be careful. I was about to leave my house on a date one day, and I was in a hurry, thought I was gonna get laid, and I accidentally shaved off half of my beard because my razor was still on the ball setting. Like, it's not very often that you do something retarded while having a long, hard look at yourself in the mirror. I don't know, lads. I'll have to leave it here. The conversation is only beginning, lads. You know what I mean? We're all going to be shaving our balls. We've got a perilous journey ahead of us. So just to reiterate, don't shave your balls in a hurry. All right, that was all my long-winded thought on pubes. I'll admit they need trimming.
Woo! Thank you, Roland. So many comedians, so much talent, so much jealousy. Like at the end of the show, I feel like some Eastern European cop who has seen like too much crime and is completely demotivated. Like, it's too much crime. I'm done. I'm gonna quit. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This was Laughs on Lockdown, Volume 4. See us next month with a new formula. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.